Hey guys, thanks for joining back here on the Roomy Alliance again. Just wanted to take a look through this article and another one about some of the backstory and history to Swords of Legends Online and sort of the just like immortal Shanxia fantasy genre as well. So this one, single player games are declining, online games are forced to. This, I'm pretty sure, means pay to win. So single player, pay to win. Where is the way out for domestic fantasy games? The great chivalrous man serves the country for the people. In the 1980s, when martial arts novels flourished, Mr. GuJian defined the word Jia, which is the martial arts part of these stories. Later, as the years changed, the martial arts theme gradually evolved into a more immortal martial arts theme. Fairy is a word that probably is going to get translated a lot here. Just read it as immortal. The form was no longer limited to books and began to move closer to the direction of games and movies. This wave of immortal knights, the old three swords. So these are like famous games from back in the day, represented by Immortal Sword, Xuan Sword, and Swordsman Love, have become the best among similar themes. Fascinating plot, rich gameplay become the youth of many people. However, times changed. The old three swords gradually declined. Fairy Sword reached the 7th generation. Due to various reasons, the reputation has not been as good as before. The 7th generation was also complained because of the poor performance of the game, and no news to this day. Swordsman Love has never returned since 2003. Online game, I don't know, has become a pie for thousands of years. The Xuan Sword series is not as good as expected, with only 63% praise. So I mean, I don't know what the other ones are, or if they're even on Steam, but this is the Sword and Fairy series that they're talking about. I don't see 7 in the bundle here, but that's just the Steam bundle. Yeah, and as you can see, mixed reviews on some of these things that are coming out. Blah blah blah. Three Swords was in decline. A new product was rising. In 2010, the appearance of GuJian surprised a large group of fans of the genre. Compared to the existing games, it has multiple advantages. Established a brand new worldview. Set the ancient sword is set as the weapon of the gods, although the owner of the sword has already traveled to the immortal and devil realms. The ancient sword left in the world gradually lifted its seal over time, setting off a new round of battle between righteousness and evil. The reason why the ancient sword was introduced is because the sword was not only a weapon at the time, but also a spirit, king of 100 soldiers. The artistic concept of the sword is similar to that of a chivalrous person, and both represent loyalty and freedom. Whether it is the gods or the present, the birth of the ancient sword actually affects people. If the people use the sword to go the right way, the ancient sword has no righteousness and evil, and this is something that immortal swords with similar themes don't have. Other games don't have this theme, I guess is what it's saying. In addition, it is a fully voiced game, and its comprehensive quality is top-notch, giving players a lot of sense of substitution. This game generally made a dark horse in the genre and gradually gained the title as one of the new swords. The success of the first game laid the foundation for the series. Remains evergreen in the past. Oh, okay. In addition to maintaining the quality of the game, focusing on the project development is also an important reason. In the new generation, GuJian 3 launched in 2018. The game boldly breaks through, changing from the original turn-based system to the real-time action system. High-quality modeling, smooth events satisfy a discerning appetite for players. Even after getting to know GuJian 3, many players turn to try to understand the world of the game. with multiple bonuses. As of the 2020, GuJian has exceeded the sales of 1.3 million. I think that's what that number is supposed to be, becoming the new ceiling in the genre in single-player games, and has received special praise from the players. However, nowadays the speed of the game update is getting faster and faster, and production cost is getting higher and higher, although the reputation of the current series of the game is good. The quality of the next generation works, and whether they can continue to break through in the genre is still unknown. The appearance of the ancient net once made fans worry about it. Okay, what? Is this the online version? I guess. After all, in the current game market, domestic online games basically choose the in-game payment model. I think they're talking about pay to win, or maybe they're talking about how you pay physically. Even if the games choose to pay by card or buyout, there are still a lot of in-app purchases which increase the economic pressure on players. So they're talking about pay to win here. However, the developers did not choose to cut leaks with such online games. On the contrary, it was surprisingly conscientious. And here they're talking about how they don't put in-app purchases in the game for things like gear and power-ups and things, because they actually care about their product and developing a game rather than a cash cow and milking their audience like so many online games do these days. This 0.6 yuan per hour is how you pay over there, a subscription by the hour. Pay for what you use. Please don't do that to me, computer. I don't want to listen to that. All materials and experience are obtained through the efforts of players. Yeah, this is more about not pay to win. Which is funny, because if you go to the Steam forums, all you can find out about the game is that somehow this game is going to have pay to win. But everything in China is about how the developers absolutely refuse to put that shit in their game, because they actually care about it. In my opinion, it is not surprising that they chose to go with this model, because the reason GuJian has been able to outperform other games in the past decade is because the quality of the game and their adherence to their product. Plowing product without cutting leaks can make players interested in learning about the game and spending time to experience the game. Excellent quality of the game can retain every player, which is a rare vision and wisdom in game operations. So, the other one I was going to look through here is why can this series with the least qualifications become the top product in China for their own immortal series of games. So it talks about Sword and Fairy again, founders of these series of games about immortal action martial arts. From 2010, when the first work sold out, to 2014, the TV series of the same name topped the rating list. And then in 2018, GuJian 3 represented the light of China, and now the online version is the first online game in 2018 for their series. Over the past 11 years, the GuJian has gradually grown into a top shelf product. Why has it been doing better in the last 11 years? What kind of story happened during this period? Today the editor will walk you through it. So, in 2007, Shanghai Candle Dragon, the company, this is it translated, it's kind of weird to see it translated, was established. Although the market was full of other games at the time and opinions, the producers just wanted to play their favorite games in an unfettered environment. In this way, I practiced with great concentration for 3 years, and in 2010, GuJian, the first one, came out for a generation. At that time, every Chinese game market was engaged in online games, and the standalone market shrank sharply. All major game websites stated that it was strictly forbidden to crack the game to protect the fragile standalone market. The excellent quality is enough to meet the expectations of the players. The graphics, performance, rich background music, and sound effects are more than the same period of Zhuanyuan's Sword Gaiden, The Distance of Clouds, and The Sword of Immortal, to be released a year later. So let me see if I can find it here. So this is the first one in the series. Doesn't actually look bad for being a game that's 11 years old, yeah? And I mean, you're not going to find it in English anywhere. Usually it says it right over here. There it is. Chinese only. Can't even get an opinion about the game here. And then you have number 2. It looks quite a bit better, honestly. And then number 3, like they were talking about. Hey, this is the thing from the online one that the Spearmasters put down. Anyways. This is the company again, not translated. Also actively listens to the opinions of the players in order to make up for the players' regrets about the protagonist's ending. The production team included a patch to increase the hidden ending to change the protagonist's fate. So they listened to players and completely changed one of the endings. It launched a full course voice package and actively repaired bugs to increase portability. The excellent quality had a sales volume of 700,000. So that was just number 1. The success of the first generation allowed them to immediately start development for the second one. The game changed the turn-based system and adopted a real-time combat. They implemented new mechanisms for the first time, took some detours, had some janky movement, and clumsy hitboxes, and a bad AI system. Make it very criticized, especially in the 7th day of the 7th boss. This is probably something to do with the game that I wouldn't understand unless I played it. But the boss had too much health, too high of an attack, and the combat was crappy, so countless players were tortured to death by him. It's still an excellent game. On screen, the gorgeous watercolor style had been greatly improved. Watercolor style, I guess. Is that the first one? An upgrade system, treasure digging, achievements, synthesis. This is the star chart system, which is all this is in the online one. Make the content rich while making a splash in the game. The parent company, blah blah blah, promoting the game, something. In 2014, the TV series was launched with the support of a luxurious lineup. The TV series won first place in the TV series ratings for 21 consecutive days. 150 million, I'm guessing, is how many viewers they had. Or the price of all these high production costs. I'm not sure. On the other hand, the strange stage play, so they also had a play called GuJian that I think, according to this, still tours China now, and you could go to like a Broadway or something like that and actually watch a stage play with the story in it. GuJian 3 released in 2018 after, I think, Sword Fairy 6 or something, one of these other games released due to poor optimization. The market fell into silence again, and many players lost confidence in single-player games. In this environment, the appearance of GuJian 3 exceeded expectations. With lessons learned from the second generation, real-time combat system is much better. A combination of light and heavy attacks. You have different skills, defense, and dodging. Make the game's combat performance smooth. The complete and large-scale game content of GuJian 3 and the complete production chain allows players to have unlimited illusions about domestic single-player games. I wish that I could play MMOs that were so good I had unlimited illusions about what was going to be coming. Many people think that GuJian 3 has touched the door of AAA games. The highest sales of more than 1.3 million. So this is the number from earlier, 1.3 million. And this is them celebrating it by eating a bunch of green onion tacos. Or is this them cutting leeks? I thought they didn't cut leeks. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on here. I just said that the film and television make the series successfully break the circle, then the online game is an important part of creating your product. As early as 2014, they began to test, but because the company's high standards for the game during the period, he did not hesitate to tear down and redo it and replace it with a new engine to strive for a better looking product. First of all, in the plot, the series in the online game carries the ambition in tandem, standalone plots and enriching the world of the game world. So the game takes a standalone, it's the same story from the triple series, the triad of games. It takes place 30 years after the second game and is very familiar to players who have played it. Unfortunately, here in America, you can't play that in English. So, sorry. Secondly, in the era of no gold and no online games, GuJian Online strives to return the essence of the game except for point cards and appearance items. The mall does not have anything that affects balance. So, I love constantly rating. I'm going to say it again. On Steam, there are always these stupid comments about how it's going to be pay to win because it's coming from China and it's always pay to win. Every single fucking article about this game from China talks about how they don't have this and the company doesn't want to have it in their game. Because they don't want to make money, but want to make a good game. It's kind of crazy, right? There's also this intention that made the project team prefer to overthrow and redo and strive for quality of the game, hold offline player forums, and listen to the opinions of the players. From plays and I think somewhere in here it said that there were 2 different novels about the game. I mean, WoW has books about it as well. Of course, the company who is a standalone player still lacks experience in online games. Yes, this is their first online game. And the game currently has some shortcomings, but I believe that with high requirements, optimization, blah blah blah, it also must become a benchmark in the industry like its single-player games. So, there's some background on the series and reception and production of the game. So I hope you guys appreciated this, or if you made it this far, that you can give me a like and then subscribe down below, because I got some other stuff I want to talk to you guys about, or make some videos about the actual lore and the history behind the game, like what this sword is that you're going to see every time you go into that zone, or this thing that you're going to see all the time, or what the blade heart actually is that you pick up at level 1. So, if you want to hear more about that stuff and some of the background and some of the lore, make sure you hit the subscribe button. So, thank you guys. Have a good one.